Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India to host the world's biggest AI summit next month. Over 100 CEOs to participate, says Union Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. US President Donald Trump nominates conservative economist Kevin Walsh as the new chair of the Federal Reserve to replace Jerome Powell after his term ends in May. Iran's Foreign Minister Arakchi says Tehran is ready for nuclear talks on equal footing after Trump says he plans to talk rather than order military strikes. And Carlos Alcaraz battles past Alexander Zverev in 5 grueling sets into his first Australian Open final. The world number 1 is now just 1 win short of becoming the youngest male to complete a career Grand Slam. Well, India is hosting the biggest ever AI summit next month, the India AI Impact Summit, which will be attended by at least 15 heads of state or governments. Representatives of over 100 companies are also going to be participating in this mega summit. India's Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav launched Impact Agenda Leadership Reflections in front of the media on Friday. The compendium has been collated with reflections from over 60 leading industry experts on their vision for the future of artificial intelligence and its role in driving inclusive growth, innovation and social impact. The minister said that the summit has got a phenomenal response.
The summit has got phenomenal response. This is going to be the 4th and the biggest AI summit so far in the entire world. The response from practically 100 countries, the number of heads of state and government, already 15 confirmations received, and the industry has responded so well. More than 100 CEOs are joining us in the Impact Summit.
Minister Vaishnav said Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with AI developers and infrastructure builders who shared that over 200 focused AI models have been developed to address sector-specific challenges.
Very recently, Honorable Prime Minister interacted with the people who are developing the models, the people who are developing the applications, and the people who are setting up the infra. When they met Honorable Prime Minister, they shared that they have developed more than 200 models so far, which are very focused, very small, and totally oriented towards solving the problems of one particular sector. The real value will come from the deployment of AI, getting those productivity gains, getting those efficiency gains.
Addressing the media on AI and Viksit Bharat, Ashwini Vaishnav said artificial intelligence will play a key role across all sectors and will be central to India's journey towards becoming a developed nation.
हमारे जीवन के हर एस्पेक्ट में एआई का उपयोग होने वाला है, चाहे हेल्थ केयर हो, चाहे नए मटेरियल्स की डिस्कवरी हो, चाहे प्लानिंग, अर्बन प्लानिंग हो, चाहे अर्बन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन हो, हर एक क्षेत्र में एआई का उपयोग होने वाला है और आने वाले समय में विकसित भारत की जो जर्नी है उसमें एआई का बहुत बड़ा रोल होगा.
India will host the second India-Arab Foreign Ministers meeting in New Delhi on Saturday. The meeting will be co-chaired by India and the United Arab Emirates. Foreign ministers of other Arab League member states and Arab League Secretary General will be participating in this meeting. In the run-up to the India-Arab Foreign Ministers meeting, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met the Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit in New Delhi on Friday. Discussions were focused on strengthening cooperation across sectors, regional developments and building upon the decade-old India-Arab partnership. The External Affairs Minister also met Comoros Foreign Minister Bey Mohammed with talks centered on cooperation in health, sports, infrastructure and capacity building. Dr. Jaishankar held talks also with Palestine's Minister for Foreign Affairs and Expatriates, Wasim Aghabikian Shaheen. Both leaders exchanged views on the Gaza peace plan and regional developments. And the External Affairs Minister also met Foreign Minister of Sudan, Mohildin Salim Ahmed Ibrahim. Dr. Jaishankar reiterated India's position for an end to violence in Sudan and a return to dialogue. And the minister also met Libya's Foreign Minister El Taher SM El Baour and held productive discussions on advancing cooperation in trade, business, infrastructure and energy domains. The situation in West Asia remains tense. Iran says it's open to resuming talks with the United States, but only if they are fair and do not touch its defense capabilities. Speaking in Istanbul after talks with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Tehran is ready for negotiations, but no talks with Washington are currently scheduled. Turkey is leading a diplomatic push to ease tensions between Tehran and Washington as regional powers step in to prevent a military confrontation. The Iranian Foreign Minister warned that his nation is prepared for either dialogue or conflict. He also said Iran is willing to work with regional partners, including Turkey and the UAE, as well as Saudi Arabia, to promote stability and peace in the region. Syria's government and Kurdish forces have struck a landmark agreement to gradually integrate Kurdish military and civilian institutions into the Syrian state. The deal has come after the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces ceded large swathes of Arab-majority territories to government forces, signaling a major shift on the ground. Now, this deal aims to unify Syrian territory through a phased integration of Kurdish forces and administrative bodies. Under the deal, frontline forces will pull back, while only interior ministry units will enter the cities of Hasakeh and Kamishli. The agreement reportedly accommodates key Kurdish demands, including the absorption of 3 SDF brigades into the Syrian army. The Kremlin said on Friday that Russian President Vladimir Putin has received a personal appeal from his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump to halt strikes in Kyiv till the 1st of February in order to create a favorable environment for peace negotiations. Ukraine has said it will reciprocate if Russia forgoes strikes on the country's energy infrastructure amid a period of bitterly cold weather. The next round of trilateral peace talks between Russia, Ukraine and the United States are set to take place in Abu Dhabi on Sunday.
Действительно, президент Трамп обратился.
President Trump has indeed personally asked President Putin to refrain from attacking Kyiv for a week until February 1st in order to create favorable conditions for negotiations.
Ударов по Киеву с целью создания благоприятных.
President Trump has named Kevin Walsh to succeed Jerome Powell as Federal Reserve Chair, ending a 5-month odyssey which has seen unprecedented turmoil around the central bank. Trump announced the decision in a social media post on Truth Social. The decision culminates a process that officially began last summer, but started much earlier than that, with Trump launching a fusillade of criticism against the Powell-led Fed almost since Powell took the job in 2018. Europe's economy has been going through some tough times, and none more than Germany's. In particular, at the center of the problems, high energy prices. Now, European energy ministers have got together to refine plans for the future of energy generation on the continent. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Good evening to you, Lars. What can you tell us about these plans?
Thanks for having me. Well, let's start with the very name of the conference where those energy secretaries met. It was the North Sea Summit, and it was held in the city of Hamburg Obviously, the North Sea was front and center, as it is indeed with regards to planning the future of energy policy in Europe. The North Sea is around 1,000 kilometers long and 600 kilometers wide. It borders on Great Britain, Denmark, Norway, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium and France. And it connects to the Baltic Sea, the Norwegian Sea and, of course, the Atlantic Ocean. While oil and gas have been explored there for years, the North Sea today is much more important in the development of renewable energies. The weather there is quite rough, and thus the North Sea is a prime location for offshore wind farms. In fact, those European countries envision the North Sea as the world's largest power plant by 2050.
And what's behind this giant concept, and will Europe be able to deliver, Lars?
Well, besides the obvious goal to get out of fossil fuels and instead rely much more on renewables, which has been a goal for Europe for many years, given the environmental impact of fossil fuel exploitation, besides that, the main goal behind this trillion-euro project is to become less dependent on other countries and their energy exports. Those other countries include Russia, for decades Europe's #1 supplier of gas, for example. And one needs to only look back at the past few years to understand how this dependency has come to hurt Europe. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, those gas deliveries went away, and Germany found itself in the midst of an expensive and economy-threatening energy crisis. But it's not just Russia. The EU is in the process now of acquiring hundreds of billions worth of LNG from the United States. Also a dependency not entirely without risk given recent trade issues. Now, it's obvious that it will take a lot of time for this giant North Sea power plant to be ready, and it would be surprising if there weren't any delays. But for now, it seems European partners are pulling together to get this done.
All right, let's hope that this solution proves to be worth it. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Lars. Now, moving to the news of the situation in Bangladesh, leaders from minority groups in Bangladesh have raised alarm over reports of targeting and attacks on members of minority communities ahead of the upcoming national elections on the 12th of next month, accusing the government of inaction. The leaders from Bangladesh Hindu Buddhist Christian Unity Council, or the BHBCUC, a top minority forum, in a press conference in Dhaka, called upon the political parties to take immediate steps to ensure the overall security of religious and ethnic minorities and indigenous communities. They called for reorganizing them as more vulnerable population and demanded a zero-tolerance policy against perpetrators of communal violence. The U.S. Embassy in Bangladesh, meanwhile, has issued a security advisory ahead of the country's parliamentary elections and national referendum on the 12th of next month. The embassy warned of possible political violence or extremist attacks during the polls, urging U.S. citizens to avoid rallies, large gatherings and remain vigilant. It highlighted the government transport bans on the 11th and 12th of next month and said embassy services will be limited on those days. Americans were advised to monitor local news, keep phones charged and review personal security plans. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Myanmar military-backed party sweeps the general elections. And India reaffirms its leadership in the global energy landscape with the closing ceremony of India Energy Week 2026 in Goa.
One of India's newest states. One of India's oldest lands. Jharkhand is a hidden.
Take a front seat to witness the grandeur. That
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, Myanmar's military-backed party has completed a sweeping victory in the country's three-phase general elections, cementing an outcome long expected after a tightly controlled political process held during civil war and widespread repression. According to state media, the Union and Solidarity Party dominated all phases of the voting, winning an overwhelming majority in Myanmar's two legislative chambers. It secured 232 of the 263 seats up for grabs in the lower house and 109 of the 157 seats announced so far in the upper chamber, according to results released on Thursday and Friday. Myanmar's parliament is expected to convene in March to elect a president, with a new government set to take over in April. Pro-military 11 media group reported earlier this month, citing junta spokesperson Zomin Tun. India is paying homage to Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, on his 78th death anniversary today, which is also known as Martyrs' Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the interfaith prayer meeting this evening at Gandhi Smriti in New Delhi. And a 2-minute silence was also observed to mark the solemn occasion. Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Friday inaugurated and laid foundation stones for development projects worth 1,715 crore rupees in Assam's Dibrugarh, including a second Legislative Assembly complex, a sports complex, a wildlife health and research centre, and wetland restoration works. The initiatives aim to develop Dibrugarh as a second administrative hub, strengthen sports and wildlife infrastructure, and improve flood management in the Brahmaputra basin. Later, the Home Minister attended the 10th Mising Youth Festival in Karing Chapori in Dhemaji, addressing a gathering of over 1 lakh or 100,000 people. The 5-day festival from the 26th of this month to the 30th celebrates Mising culture and traditions. Shah praised the community's folk music, stilt homes and Ari Ai Ligang festival as symbols of its cultural identity. Union Minister for Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal addressed the World Forum of Accountants organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in Greater Noida on Friday. The 3-day global event from the 30th of this month to the 1st of Feb celebrates the chartered accountancy profession's evolution from nation building to global collaboration. As a proud chartered accountant himself, the Union Minister expressed confidence in India's robust position amid global volatility. He also highlighted India's strong macroeconomics and emergence as one of the world's largest economies.
Amidst all these difficult, uncertain times, India stands as an oasis in a desert. We stand tall as a country with strong macroeconomic fundamentals. We are the fastest growing large economy in the world. We continue to post high growth rates with abysmally low inflation. We have a robust banking system, strong foreign currency reserves.
The minister added that India is on track to becoming the 3rd largest economy, far ahead of earlier projections, crediting Prime Minister Modi's government's reforms.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has completely changed the way India engages with the world. He has changed the thinking. He has changed our ability to engage with the developed countries with self-confidence, with the courage of conviction.
India has underlined its readiness to navigate global energy volatility at the closing ceremony of India Energy Week 2026 in Goa. Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri highlighted India's resilient energy strategy to ensuring energy security, affordability and sustainability amid geopolitical uncertainties. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya with this report.
India has reaffirmed its leadership in the global energy landscape at the closing ceremony of India Energy Week 2026 in Goa. Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said India remains well prepared to navigate sustained geopolitical volatility anchored by diversification, resilience, and a decisive transition towards cleaner fuels. Highlighting India's rising stature, the minister noted that India is now the world's third largest energy consumer and fourth largest refiner, committed to ensuring energy availability, affordability, and sustainability.
We are very well equipped. We are the third largest consumer, fourth largest refiner, fifth largest exporter. In the coming years, from now to 2027, 28, 2030, India will continue to occupy center stage in the global discourse, and I think we're very well equipped both in terms of ensuring availability, affordability, of course, it depends, and ultimately the sustainability which is a really great story.
Petroleum Secretary Dr. Neeraj Mittal outlined the roadmap to support India's robust economic growth, stressing domestic exploration, energy self-reliance, digitalization, and AI-driven efficiencies across energy value chain.
If you look at our growth rates, we are growing at about 7.5%, 8%. Projected growth is somewhere around upwards of 7%, twice that of the world average. Our energy requirements are going to grow. I think there are two pillars where really I would classify, the priorities of the government. First is to strengthen our domestic E&P activities. The second pillar is using technology. How do we make our operations efficient? How do we improve our logistics? How do we, have multiple companies, put them together and, save money for the country?
The final day also celebrated innovation with awards recognizing excellence across startups, academia, and industry. India Energy Week 2026 concluded by reinforcing India's role as a steady, credible, and future-ready global energy leader. Tapas Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
The 11th edition of staff talks between the Indian Navy and the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force concluded successfully in New Delhi on Thursday. The discussions were co-chaired by Rear Admiral Srinivas Madula, Assistant Chief of Naval Staff, Foreign Cooperation and Intelligence, and Rear Admiral Toshiyuki Hirata, Director General of Operations and Plans, JMSDF. The talks centered on enhancing maritime cooperation, strengthening interoperability, and advancing a collaborative approach towards a free and open Indo-Pacific. Both the sides reaffirmed their commitment to building convergence on shared visions of Mahasagar and ocean, underscoring the growing strategic partnership between India and Japan in the maritime domain. And in sports, world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz battled an injury scare to overcome Alexander Zverev in a roller-coaster 5-set thriller to enter his maiden Australian Open final. The Spaniard edged out the world number 3 in a marathon that lasted 5 hours and 27 minutes, the longest semi-final in tournament history. After appearing to recover from a leg injury that hampered him from late in the third set, the Spaniard rallied from 3-5 in the decider to seal his first final appearance in Melbourne. With his victory, Alcaraz moved within one win of becoming the youngest man to complete a career Grand Slam. Standing between Alcaraz and that piece of history will be the winner of a heavyweight showdown which is ongoing between defending champion Jannik Sinner and 10-time Australian Open champion Novak Djokovic, and right now it is quite a cliffhanger in the 5th set again. Now, New Zealand have added Ben Sears as a travelling reserve to boost their fast bowling stocks for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. Sears is set to join the Black Caps before the 20-over showcase in India and Sri Lanka, which commences on the 7th of next month. The fast bowler will join the squad before New Zealand's warm-up fixture against the USA on the 5th of February. The Kiwis' opening match at the T20 World Cup is against Afghanistan on the 8th. Sears' addition came after Adam Milne was ruled out of the event due to hamstring injury. While Sears has joined in as a travelling reserve, Kyle Jamieson has joined the main 15-member squad. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen to download the app right away. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.